Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday morning. You are tuned in to JW's radio because it is that time of the morning. There's a lot of you that tune in now. So there's so many things we're working on. Oh, nothing like warm coffee in the morning. So actually, what I'm doing is there's going to be an audio recording of this as well. Trying to do something a little bit different. Also, some people just like to tune in maybe sometimes to just the audio, so we're going to make an audio clip for it as well. So that will be pretty cool. That will be available also on Patreon and the second channel as well. So, okay, so I decided to do a couple of things, bring out some stuff and talk about some things, but there's hopefully some things that I want to work on changing and things that I've been working on. All this stuff has been on the back burner. Recently getting into partnership with good old Dirty Dan on some stuff. So those of you that maybe are subscribed to my second channel, which is BATJAC J.W radio show channel. That's my other channel here on YouTube. It's just a separate other thing I do. Sometimes I throw up some random videos on there for good comical laughs, and sometimes information on what's going on here that maybe it just has not been discussed or talked about in the JW's radio episodes here on Saturday morning, which of course I appreciate everybody that tunes in and watches these things and listens. Some people like to tune in after the gun range while they clean their guns, or maybe just relaxing. So there's quite a few of you. I appreciate all the subscribers, everybody that's been here with the channel. We have broke over 11,000 people. It's just amazing to see those kind of numbers keep growing and growing, and more of you keep returning back to the channel. And I appreciate those of you that like the channel for what it is. I really can't express how much I appreciate all of you just that tune in, just for the chats, just to talk about cool stuff. And a lot of us have the same idea and thought process, and that coming up here in the 4th of July will be my 4 years doing this stuff. And I slowly have evolved it to where I wanted to go with it, really, which is a lot of it is the relationship to really cool old vintage movies that I love, and the firearms that may be associated with that, and drove me to buying them or wanting them or chasing after them. And really a lot of it is just the old school aspect of things, the old movies, the older guns, just that's pretty much what I focused on. And so of course I threw in a lot of other extras and things, fun things, just for fun, entertainment purposes only, right? And throughout this 4-year journey, I have met a great deal of you that have been absolutely awesome, really cool people. I just can't express how much you guys are just so awesome. I really feel I've got some of the best subscribers out there. So, okay, some things that happened on the channel, and well, speaking of subscribers, this is a holster that I got sent, that one of you sent to me. It was Andrew sent this to me. It's a 1911 holster, and I have been using it every day at work, so it's really great. I love this holster. It just works great for a 1911. I love this style. It's very old school. In fact, I believe Tommy Lee Jones' character in No Country for Old Men carries his Colt 1911 in this style holster. So really cool stuff. Thank you. I have received so many cool things from you guys as gifts that it's pretty amazing, and I thank you so much for all that stuff. And I bet you're wondering, and I know one of you are wondering, where's the Duke? I have actually had so much trouble trying to put stuff on the wall. I'm still working on trying to figure out and devise another way to put this stuff on the wall. I don't want to start poking holes in the wall and driving thumbtacks and stuff in the wall, so I want to avoid that. So I'm kind of looking for another alternative, and the more I kept trying with the different types of adhesive tapes, I just felt like it was going to start destroying posters and things, which I definitely do not want to do. somebody said I should frame the Duke poster, and I would love to, but it's so it's like the size of a door. I might just get it laminated. I've been contemplating that. I'm not just go get it laminated, but that goes along with everything that there's so much I want to do and so little money. So I got to get things set up. There's so much stuff I got to work on. I got to get my car fixed up and money in the bank and everything like that. So just for say the rainy day type thing. So there's so much stuff, but. If you have not seen the recent video idea, it's a this is a vintage, you could say a vintage old magazine, Guns and Ammo, from October 1984. It's really cool, and we did a little throwback video and kind of going through it and looking at it. So check that out on the channel. Throwback stuff. I've been always interested in doing that. Just never had any just ideas on what to do with that. So I don't know if it's going to be a every Thursday thing or not. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how much material we can scavenge up and get going for that. So that'll we'll see. It could be it could be more magazines. It could be maybe a story or something. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out what to do. Now this is an idea. I want to get to this. This was an idea that I was trying to bounce around in my head on how to do this, and how to talk about this, because ever since I posted the video on this, and that's why you probably see what the title of this video, this radio show, and some people that just stumbled across this are going, hey, what the heck, I thought it was about this Inland 1911. This is the radio show, Saturday morning, where we just yak endlessly, and so, but we like to cover topics too, so. If you have not, some of you have not. We got a lot of help. Some of you veterans of the radio show, help them out, right? In the comments, help them out. Let them know what this is all about here. Sometimes you get that, well, this is a stupid video. But I know the ones that, I know there's a lot of you that love these videos, and that's all that matters. Okay, so we're talking about, I posted a video of this Inland 1911 some time ago, and it was referring to that if it was worth that MSRP. I think it was like $779 or something. It's an expensive 1911. Inland, what they did was they bought the name, or they got a hold of that name that was synonymous with World War II and Inland carbines and all that cool stuff, man. That stuff that just drips awesome from World War II, and the American weaponry and all that kind of stuff. So they figured that, well, they're going to make a 1911, and they're going to do an exact copy of the World War II gun. But just FYI, I have yet to come across the perfect replica of a war gun, aside from the one that I got from Colt, the reintroduction, I should call it a reintroduction or something, or their homage or commemorative thing. That World War I pistol is absolutely my favorite. That thing is down to everything. And who better to do it than Colt, right? So of course the granddaddy of them all, when they come in the game and they do it right. Okay, now I do not like to bash companies. I don't. I'm not. It's not about that. It's not about negativity for me. But I want to be truthful. I want to give you guys a pretty truthful impression, or my thoughts on something, or opinion, and of course there again, it's just all opinion, so take that for what it is. I'm not going out of my way to trash a company. I don't like to do that, but I will like to say and put this out there that when I spend my own money on something, our hard-earned money, right, like mine, yours, right, we all work very hard for our dollars. So when we go out and shovel out $600-700 and more, or any amount of money for that matter, on our stuff that we want to purchase, we expect to get our money's worth, because we're the ones that have to go and work for it and get that paycheck. That those numbers never seem to add up at the end of the month. Okay, so the Inland 1911, I did a video on it. I asked if I compared it to, rather, if it was worth that heavy price tag or not. why would somebody want this thing? If you were enthused by the World War II genre, you wanted an A1 style pistol that was closer to that style of A1 World War II without spending the astronomical prices that some of these collectors that want for their original war guns, which is absolutely insane. But then this might be your choice. Okay, the Inland 1911. Now, I don't know if you want to pause the video, check it out. If you look at the photos of this thing, they had a lighter parkerizing finish on it, which that's what I saw, and I saw two of them in a gun shop, of course with the high price tag. But I saw two of them with that lighter shade of parkerizing. Looked beautiful, awesome, amazing. That's what made me fall in love with it. And of course, the roll marks. There's really awesome roll marks on the side of this slide. They really put some cool stuff on there. And what it is, basically, they did the patent dates, and on the side, instead of, they kind of rolled with the Colt style, it says Inland 1911 A1 government model, all cool stuff. And then on the other side, on the reverse side, on the frame, it says 1911 A1 government, of course, with their Inland manufacturing date in Ohio. So really cool. Now, when I got mine, it was all parkerized flat black, and for me, that was not why I liked the gun. Well, I mean, half was there, the roll marks were there, but the color was not there. So, of course, I contacted Inland about it, and this was a special order gun I did. I special ordered it through a mom and pop shop, because that's who I support. So it was just like, I had it, and I just wasn't happy with it. I thought, well, that's kind of junk. So I called them, and long story short, without going into detail, they really didn't bother to help me out. They really just kind of didn't really care. So let's leave it at that. So, excuse me. I wound up coming to the conclusion of spray painting this thing. Yes, and that's why it looks the way it does. It has that nice, awesome, kind of almost green tone to it, because I did that myself. And then, of course, I went through and I aged it. I wanted to kind of make it look a little more rough like it would have been in war. So that's what I've done to mine, and I made it very cool for me, for my sake, for what I like it for, not necessarily for Tom, Dick, and Harry. Now, they might disagree with me. And in fact, I know they'll probably disagree with me. So, this, when I posted that video, there was a lot of questions and comments that came through that made a good point. Isn't this 1911 just the auto ordinance 1911, the one that's owned now by Carr Arms? I started to really think about that. There's a lot of suspect things about that. As we know, if you don't know, I'll fill you in a little tidbit, no extra charge. The auto ordinance 1911, the World War II parkerized one, okay, those things, you can pick them up for under $500. You can get them used, definitely for a good price. Brand new, I'm pretty sure you're right at $500 or just under. Pretty sure you can get them for like $4 something, high $4s. So the things that were suspect on that, now was a good comment. Is this thing that gun? So there was some things that I started thinking about. Now, I used to have one. I did. I used to have one. I sold it to a friend of mine. It is a Series 80. Let's get that right out. The Inland is a Series 80. There's a little button on the slide. Okay, so it is a Series 80. So is the Auto Ordnance one. So is the Auto Ordnance one. What really started to make me think it was is if you look at photographs of the Auto Ordnance 1911, look at the trigger. Okay, the trigger is the same size or same length of this one, with the same two little marks on it where they pinned it or whatever, put it together. I don't know. I'm just telling you from the average Joe like me. I'm not a professional or anything like that. I'm just showing you. I'm just telling you what I see. I noticed that the trigger was the same. Okay. Now, when I talked to Inland, they said that yeah, they quit parkerizing in the light finish because they had too many complaints about it. If you look at even in the manual, it is displayed with that beautiful lighter colored parkerizing. Now, ironically, Auto Ordnance discontinued their beautiful parkerizing lighter color too. They went to just flat black. Now, Inland did the same. My bottom line opinion, do I think that you're basically getting the same gun? Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Yes, I do. I think the only thing you're going to be paying for at this point is the fancy roll marks that they did to decide to change it up. And they slapped Inland on it, and there you go. So I'm wondering if these were made, if the slides and frames were made by just some other, because there's just, aside from, if you take, I would love to have taken 2 brand new ones from both companies side by side with the same finish on them and really show you the comparison. I mean, I think that we would be shocked at how we're going to find out it's the same thing. Maybe some of us will be shocked, some of us, so I already knew that. So, yeah, I think Inland really just slapped their name on it, bumped it up a few $100s more, and just because they did some fancy roll marks on it. Bottom line conclusion, okay, here it is. Do I regret buying this thing? Do I regret spending that kind of cash on it? Not right now, no, because it was something I wanted. I wound up turning it into something kind of cool because I spray painted it and did some wear to it, and it kind of became my own like cool creation, and I kind of like doing that. Similar to where I liked what I done to my Cimarron Rooster shooter. You guys been around my channel a lot. You know, story with this gun and how the finish I did myself, and I made my own grips for it and everything to pay homage to John Wayne, because I love John Wayne, and this is like, you know, so having the Rooster shooter and everything, and then so this gun, you know, again, it's a high price tag compared to just their standard Frontier model. Do I regret buying it, even though it's the same gun? Really, no. So this is the same story, because I got to kind of play around with it and do something to it, you know. So now that I got it and everything, but question would remain: would I buy another one? No. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Or is it the other way around? Not enough coffee yet. It's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right? Isn't that the way it goes? Okay. Yeah. No, that is definitely the case with this thing. I don't know. You know, I almost, that's why you know, it's like, I justify that. Was it a shame on me the first time I bought it, being duped into that? And you know they're they're targeting people like me that are fascinated with the World War II genre, and so they, you know, maybe it is shame on me that first time that I was hook, line, and sinkered into something like that with a high price tag. So, I must say I really do feel that Auto Ordnance's stuff is extremely overpriced. Their 37 trench gun that they made, it's a copy of the Ithaca 37. Would love to have that thing, but not for $1,300 or so. That's what I saw it at a gun shop for. $1,300. Are you kidding me? They're 30 carbines. You know, again, you're peaking like $1,200, $1,300. Like, well, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I wonder about that, you know. So pretty much for me, for like, I consider myself the average Joe, the average income, you know, or low income, whatever, you know, basically scraping by, trying to buy my toys. I'm not going to be able to afford those things, let alone afford it just to, you know, play around. And now let's get it straight. This stuff is for nostalgia. The stuff is just a cool factor, that nostalgia of like, wow, you know, war. But then you start peeking into it. Now, mind you, like, so with their Inland, you know, their 30 carbine, you're buying a reproduction. You're paying like, you know, whatever, you could buy an authentic one for that. You can buy an authentic, in pretty darn good shape, working shape, for that kind of money. Now, why wouldn't you just, I mean, if it's nostalgia, go buy the real thing. Go buy the real thing. And it's got collector value to it. So if you ever wanted to sell it and get rid of it and recoup your money, you will do that. Now, you try to go, if I wanted to try to sell this, I mean, I would not get anywhere near what I paid for it back out of it. In fact, I had to sell 2 guns just to get this thing. So, I don't know. Right? It comes with this limited 1-year warranty. Let's see, I don't know. I really didn't risk. The warranty is voided as firearm if it has been abused, misused, damaged by let's see, it was voided, abused or misused. Why? I guess spray painting it might be abusing it, but that's because I was not happy with their color on it. Right? Okay. You fired with hand loads. Well, there you go. I've already fired it with hand. I don't think it's fired actual. Maybe it has. I don't know. I've always reloaded my own ammunition. Improper ammunition or obstructions in the barrel, damage or failure to provide responsible and necessary maintenance. I don't know. Again, my bottom line conclusion, Inland, you guys, lower your prices. Get with the program. Know your audience and who you're start looking at, and I tell you too, they also told me that they sat there when they designed the thing. They bought it from Carl Ordnance. They said they had an authentic one, side by side to it, and that's the way they designed it. Okay, well then, I mean, let's start nitpicking. First of all, Trigger's wrong. Trigger's wrong, and I believe the slide stop should have been stippled or checkered or whatever instead of serrated. I don't know. I have to go look. I even did a video comparing the two with an authentic one or not. So I don't know. For the most part, it is pretty darn close. I think if I was going to do this, if I was ahead of the company, if I was going to do this and put something out in the market, because I really feel like this is like they almost went to the finish line and they quit. That's what I'm thinking or feel. I would have put the entire U.S. property marks and everything on it. I would have gone as far as that. I really would have. And I would have done World War I and World War II and did the markings correctly. That's what I would have done. So I don't know. And you know what? Even the box, you could say, even the box might be the same as the auto ordnance one. Now, here's the other thing I would have done cool. Now, okay, I'm almost positive that it costs more to do a box like this, where it's plastic and foam and stuff like that. Now, I would have done the original cardboard looking chipboard box. That's what I would have done. I would have done that and put the little insert in there to protect the gun. But I would have made the reproduction of that cardboard insert thing. Now, that's just my opinion. That's what I would have done. If you're truly a fanboy or a fanatic about this kind of stuff like I am, that's what I would have done. Moving on before we cut out here, talk about a movie, right? Instead of doing about. So there you go. That's everything on the Inland that I think I need. I feel like I'm gonna say. And again, you know, it may seem like I'm just trashing the company. I really am not trying to do that. I am just giving you my honest opinion, how I feel about it, as somebody that has spent a good deal of chunk of cash on something like this. So, all right. Cool movie, Death Wish 3, Charles Bronson. There's a lot of Death Wish movies that he did. Of course, you got the new one out now with Bruce Willis and whatnot. So, but nothing beats the classic originals, directed by Michael Winner, which has done a lot of really cool movies of Charles Bronson. This is definitely one of the cooler ones, I think, in my opinion, because one thing I like about this one is he moves to this really horrible town or side of the town and all that in the state, and it's just trash, overrun by just hoodlums, gangsters, wannabe, whatever. And so now Charles Bronson's in town, and he gets free reign from the police to basically clean it up because they know who he is. per se. You have to watch a movie to get the true details on that. But so he's in there and he starts sending off mail order stuff, and they're like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna do, Paul? What are you gonna do? How are you gonna fix this stuff? He says, don't worry, my friend Wildy is coming. Okay, so and you're like, who is Wildy? So and what he wound up getting is a Wildy Magnum pistol. Awesome stuff. Sits there, starts hand loading all the ammunition. The guy goes, you're hand loading all those? He says, yes, nothing is too good for our friends. So then he starts mail ordering other stuff, getting all this cool stuff in the mail, and the guy, and then he starts taking them out, slowly, and finally it just blows up into just like a full-blown war zone in the streets, and Charles Bronson's cleaning it up, right? Awesome stuff. This is one of my favorite Death Wish flicks, to bar none. It is more just a fun, good time. Is what this one I would say. This is a more of a fun, really good time. It's just great. So that's where that one stands. It's awesome stuff. So if you just want to have a good old blast off time now, so I think this one takes itself a little less serious than the first two did, and then the ones after it. And I do like all of them. They are all really good in their own way. So, and nothing beats a classic. People ask me all the time, what do you think of the original compared to the remake? Well, of course, obviously, I'm gonna like the original. That's just me. For me, a lot of these movies like this, Dirty Harry, Brannigan, all the John Wayne flicks, the westerns, and cool old movies like that, when you go all the way back to like Humphrey Bogart days and all that stuff. They don't make movies like that anymore. To me, they have very few actors left. Mostly they have faces and bodies. Again, that's my opinion. So, stuff I've been working on with Dan, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. It's right now it's in the slow works. We're going to see how it's going to go, and of course you guys will be the first to see them. Working on bringing back the BATJAC J.W. aged grips, and we're going to be doing some other different types of ones and stuff like that. So I'm going to have the goal is to have quite a catalog of them, and look for that video as they'll be posted up, and going into partnership with Dan on it and everything. So we're going to get some ideas flowing and things like that, and we're going to start producing them out. They're going to be 100% handmade, hand casted, everything, hand polished and sanded. So they're all going to be unique in every way. No two sets are going to be the same. So when they do pop up, and if you want to purchase a pair, they will be one of a kind. That's basically it. Even on all my guns, and that's why I like it so much. Is because nobody has this set that I have on this gun, because it's unique. And there's been actually a few of you that have purchased them. I know, and I thank you for it. And I get a lot of messages from you, how much you like them. So they are making a return. It's just a matter of getting them all done and shaped up and everything like that, and getting them out there. And my goal was to make them not as expensive as some of the other people that are doing them, you're pretty much just getting the same thing as another person were to order them from that company. You're just going to get the same thing. I didn't want to do that. I wanted something that's every single one is unique, and you'll be able to maybe look at the catalog and choose which one you want, as long as it's available still. And of course, for about half the price that a lot of these other companies are charging, because back to staying like that, I don't make a ton of money, and so I need to be able to purchase things for a decent price and still have a pretty decent quality product. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that when they pop out, and I'll be showing a video on that, right? So check it out. Appreciate it, you guys. Appreciate you tuned in to BATJAC J.W. on Saturday morning. Don't forget, check out my Patreon page, where there's some exclusive videos, early release videos. Again, it doesn't cost you a dime to be there and watch the content. If you do choose to support me, I do appreciate that greatly. Helps the channel move along, okay? All right, and don't forget, second channel, BATJAC J.W. radio show, where some other options and things like that have been funny videos, off-weird videos, informative videos on what's going on. And also don't forget to subscribe to the Arizona Ghost Riders channel, because we've been doing a lot of stuff together this Saturday, or well,
Saturday right now. Check it out. I'm involved in his skit. Also, check out my second channel to see the alternative to that skit of dental work.